Going on to you, Virgo. So you have the Strength, the Five of Cups, and then you Virgos have the Queen of Wands. So a lot of fire energy, a lot of water, but much more fire right now than water. A lot of you Virgos very much so are sticking to your standards, right? The Strength card, even though you have diversity, adversity. And what I mean by that is people just giving you a hard time because you won't allow yourself to be used. And so a lot of you Virgos are learning how to actually be at peace with that, to be at peace with the fact that a lot of people don't like you because they have to come up with a reason, a stupid reason in their head as to why they don't like you. So a lot of you Virgos are learning how to become much more okay with that. And not everybody does have to like you. You know, it is what it is. You're not going to be liked by every single person in the world. And, you know, a lot of times people don't understand these concepts. And it's like, listen, we're going through life. You got to understand that, you know, at some point, somebody for some shape, form, or reason is going to have a problem with you, no matter how nice you are, no matter how great you are. So you're going to be in that position where you have to be able to be okay with not being liked, but be okay with being by yourselves. You know, as Virgos, you got to learn that we're solitary. You know, we should be solitary. And so because of it, the Page of Cups and the Two of Pentacles right here represents, you know, like I said, people will come up with their own excuses. The Page of Cups and the Two of Pentacles, you just think about what it is that you need to do and stop worrying your head up so much about what other people got going on. Focus on what you Virgos got going on. And once it is that you Virgos focus on what you've got going on, now this puts you in a better position because now you don't have to worry about being paranoid of people plotting on you or what's coming to you and all this stuff. You don't have to worry about the exes coming back, right? Because, you know, during Mercury retrogrades, exes come back. And, you know, Mercury retrogrades, right, when exes start coming back and all of that, that type of stuff affects Virgos and Geminis the most because essentially, again, we're the rulers of Mercury. So a lot of exes, I can say from personal experience, as a Virgo, a lot of exes do come back. They used to, right? Or I reconnect with some people that I looked at like a romantic interest, and there was romance there, but they essentially broke my heart, or you know, I said something or whatever. So I realized that if me and this person isn't necessarily meant to be, then again, you know, I have to learn to accept it. So a lot of you have to learn to be okay with not being liked, you know. And some people are gonna just be upset with you, just to be upset with you because they figure that other people don't have a mind of their own enough to be able to give you any kind of adversity. And since they don't give you that, since so many people like you, they look at it like, I'm gonna go against the grain just for the sake of going against the grain for the experience of it. That's on them. But the Knight of Pentacles right here represents, it's up to you to not associate yourself with them. And Knight of Pentacles, associate yourself with people who not only want to be around you, but actually has love for you. And then you have the Justice and the Four of Wands. So the Justice and the Four of Wands right here represents, and since that's the case, a lot of you really are in a situation where you Virgos are very much so content with where you are in your life. There's a sense of peace. There's a sense of you doing your own thing, right? And essentially doing what it is that you want to do, living your life. The Ten of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups represents a brand new sense of freedom, financially, emotionally, and because of it, you don't feel as restricted the way that you once were a few months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. And because of this, a lot of you Virgos are enjoying your life. You are enjoying what you want to enjoy, while at the same time, for the best of you, remaining, or I should say the better of you, remaining disciplined even though you have fun. So you have fun, but you also know how to essentially discipline yourself and tie it in a knot. So let's clarify, nip that up. So let's clarify the Ace of Cups, right? Which is that emotional maturity. The Devil, Seven of Wands, Seven of Cups, Ten of Cups, and then you Virgos have the Ace of Swords. So the Devil and the Seven of Wands represents, because a lot of you Virgos been through so much. People will hang around us and do all types of goofy nonsense or whatever the case may be, just to get on our nerves. A lot of people think that it's fun to troll us. I mean, my gosh, how much dedication a person needs to have to be taking that much time out of their schedule, and anyway, they ruin their lives. They dedicate their lives towards getting on your nerves, and the thing is that, again, the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Cups, a lot of you Virgos are not taking it on. You're not stressing about it. There's a sense of you, like I said, you're not hanging out with them, exercising that freedom of association as you should, and I've talked about this before, that you should always exercise that freedom of association. Don't ever put yourself, you Virgos, don't ever put yourself in a position where now you start thinking that you are supposed to sit there and take the dysfunction that a person is showing you for an extended period of time. No, you don't have to associate yourself with them. Obviously no one is perfect. I'm not perfect. No one is perfect, right? We all gonna have our ups and downs. But I'm talking about if the person is a consistent mess up, then yeah, you should definitely stay away from them and let life essentially sort them out. And then you have the Ace of Swords, which represents a lot more mental clarity, a lot more understanding about what it is that you need to do, and there's a lot more discipline, there's a lot more accountability. So you have the Justice right here, right? You have the Queen of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and then you have the Tower, the Eight of Wands, and then you have the Five of Cups. So to clarify the Justice, right, the Queen of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, to clarify the Justice. Now the Justice represents internal peace, spiritual evolution. It represents, like I said, inner peace as well, joy, right? The ability to, set things that are wrong right, to avenge the fact that you've had so many people waste your time. Because that's one thing I realized too, as being a Virgo, right, is that, like, if you allow it, these people will come into your life and really waste your time being on some nonsense. They will occupy your time and you will allow it, and like I said, see, the thing is that with me, a lot of the older people that I used to hang around, they wouldn't put me on to game of this. The time when I really started getting put on was really like I said before, when the person put me on at 14 to the knowledge, to the metaphysics, and then I essentially I took it from there. But even that, at that point, I was still going to people who are older than me, trying to gain some form of introspection. And I'm thinking that just because they're older, they're wiser, and that's not really the case. So I'm saying all that to say that you Virgos have become the elders, right? You Virgos have had to learn by teaching yourself, right? You had to be self-taught at a very young age on how to have happiness. you know. And then you have the Tower, and then you have the Eight of Wands, the Five of Cups. And there's a whole lot of sadness. There's a whole lot of, you know, broken hearts at the fact that you Virgos are doing your thing, and that you're not worried about what other people got going on at all, really. You're very much so stable in what you've got going on. And the Wheel of Fortune represents, the Wheel of Fortune in Tower represents breaking that wheel to get on a brand new one. And what I mean when I say breaking it, I'm talking about breaking your dysfunctional habits, right? The things that occur in your day-to-day, whether it's you exhibiting self-destructive behavior, whether it's, you know, by hanging around people, or just habits that you want to stop. A lot of you Virgos are learning to not do that. A lot of you, Virgos are actually going after things that are important to you. And you're accomplishing goals and getting things done, and, you know, making sure that a person you know, how do I say this? You're giving yourself a little bit of spiritual defense by not slowing up, because like it is that I said before, you know, us as Virgos, when we don't know any better, we can be a zodiac sign that will literally allow people to, like, occupy our time. And what I mean by that is, these will be people who really are insecure. They can't stand to be by themselves. So now it's that sense of they talking to you, hey, what's going on, stuff like this. And it's almost like they're you know, the way that they talking to you is not just a legitimate, they're trying to talk to you. They're trying to talk to you because they're highly insecure. They're dysfunctional. So they're talking to you because they don't want to be by themselves. But then at the same time, it's a low-key form of, like, they're really trying to force you to pay attention to them because they like the attention. So what it becomes is, it's this scenario where it's like they demand your time. They want your time, right? You Virgos may have something that you've got going on, but it's almost like they're gonna force you to hang out with them. It's like, what kind of dysfunctional stuff is this? And the thing is that we cater into it because, you know, we can see that they've broken. We, you know, if not that, sometimes it could be also we think that they're gonna change and stuff like this or whatnot, because they come off cool, and then they show that they're a hyena. They show that they're just as dysfunctional as all else, and that you staying away from them, it pulled their card a little bit. So you know, so you Virgos staying away and not having people demand your time, because it's real wild for a person to be like, oh, you know, I remember I used to talk to this rich person. I'm not gonna say any names, and the person used to, like, try to demand my time, and I'm like, look, I'm like, listen, you rich, okay? You can afford to not have to trade your time for money, because you have so much, and then you have businesses and stuff like this. You don't get to tell me where my time is spent, because I'm not rich. I'm still in a position where I have to trade my time a little bit for money. It's starting to get to a point where I don't have to trade so much of my time the way that I used to, thankfully. But how is that fair to me? And, like, you know, the ego. So other than that, you Virgos are definitely doing a great job. You know, one thing that I learned that I'm gonna tell you Virgos is that if you Virgos are doing something for yourself, don't ever allow people to occupy more time than what is necessary. And what I mean by that is, spend time with people who are important to you, okay? They are important for a reason, okay? They bring value. They are valuable. But then at the same time, if you have things to do, stop allowing them to come into your life or intrude on what you got going on and demand so much of your time. Next thing you know, you got to do a project or you got to do something important, and then the person wants you to go down to the store for ice cream. Tell them no, go down to the store for your own ice cream. Right? They're trying to butt into your life, right? Elbow in, and forget about all that. Because, and I'll even go ahead and say a secret too. This is why it is that as earth signs, regardless of if it's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorns, this is part of the reason why it is that we can end up living a very long time. Right? I'm not saying that some people don't transition earlier, but I'm talking about the earth signs. Generally speaking, we live a long time because we really start our life and the things that we want to do late. Because part of why we end up being late bloomers, especially with Virgos, is because we spent so much time wasting it, messing around with a group of knuckleheads that don't know the difference between their ear hole, right? Their ear hole and their elbow and a hole in the ground. You know, I didn't learn how money worked until, 2020, when I was 28 going on 29, 33 now. And I'm asking people, right? I'm hanging out with some people that act like they so smart, right? Hood and all of this other type of stuff, right? Hood and all of that. But then at the same time, it's like, well, how come you got all this knowledge, you're supposed to be putting people on? They never put me on to anything. I'm asking them what's up, and they always tell me that they don't know. But then when something happened, now they want to act like they geniuses. I told you, you didn't tell me anything. Because when I came to you and asked you about this particular subject, what did your goofy behind say? I said, I don't know. Right, you said you don't know, goofy. So what in the world what in the world you said you told me? Yeah, you right. It's only until I broke away from the peanut gallery is when I was like, I actually learned, because now the curriculum is me. Now I don't have knuckleheads surrounding me. Now I can afford to literally read whatever it is that I want to read. Right? So during just before the 2020 thing happened, right? The 2020 event happened. That's when it is that I checked out Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and that really kicked off this journey and stuff like this. And I just kept studying from there, and that's how I was able. So eventually, you Virgos are gonna have to essentially, break free from all this garbage, because these people are goofy. And you got, like I said before, your power is in the darkness. Your power is understanding that you really have to regain self-respect and respect in other people, and it's just the lack of respect that sometimes people can show you, turning that lack of respect on his head to gain that respect, or I should say right side up, by staying away from them, by letting them see what it is that they do not have access to anymore. So that's it. Trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 100,000 subs, 14,700 change subscribers. Thank you so much. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.